doing is right turns out to be wrong. And the fact that his family will not take any part of it makes him scared. He gets scared, and what he does is he runs back to Narada. He runs back to Narada and falls in the feet of Narada. He tells to Narada, Swami, I have been living a lie my whole life. I thought that whatever I have been doing is for my family, and if I do something for my family, it is not wrong. But after you said that these will bring negative effects, even though I was providing them, my family did not want to take any part of the negative effects that I will get. Please tell me what to do. Please tell me what to do. I am very scared. So Narada says, don't worry. There is only one way. There is only one way you can erase all your negative deeds. It is by saying the name of Bhagavan, by saying Bhagavan Nama. That is when Narada teaches the hunter Rama Nama. Him being a hunter, he's not even able to say Rama. The name Rama is not coming in his mouth. But Narada, being a guru, will not leave it. What Narada does is that he calls the hunter, he shows him a tree. Tree in Tamil is called Maram. He shows to the tree, and Narada says, what is that? The hunter says Maram. Narada says, tell Mara. The hunter starts saying Mara. Narada tells him, continue saying that. So the hunter starts Mara, 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 Mara. As he says Mara, 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 when he continuously starts saying it, it automatically turns to Rama. And Narada says, you should not stop saying this Bhagavan Nama. You should sit here and you should say it. If you say it sincerely and wholeheartedly, all of your negative deeds will be erased. So, the hunter who is now scared for his life sits down. He sits down and wholeheartedly and sincerely he starts saying the Rama Nama. Days pass by, years pass by, he's sitting in the same place. He's sitting in the same place saying Rama Nama. All ants surround him and make a hill around him. An ant hill is formed around him. Ant hill is also called Valmikam, because this hunter comes out of this Valmikam. He later gets the name Valmiki. Thus, a simple hunter who was not in the right path of life turns out to be Bhagavan Valmiki, who gives us the story of Bhagavan Sri Rama. So, the Bhagavan Nama can turn anyone into a great person. There are 4 yugas. The 4 yugas are Krita Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga. Dhyayan krite yajan yagnaihi Tretayam Dwaparer Archayan Yathapnoti Tathapnoti Kalau Sankirtya Keshavam. So, in those 4 yugas, people worship Bhagavan in different methods. In the first yuga, Krita Yuga, people do dhyana in order to reach the holy feet of Bhagavan. They do meditation. They do not let their mind scatter anywhere. They concentrate and meditate towards Bhagavan. By this, all people in Krita Yuga reach the holy feet of Bhagavan. In Treta Yuga, people did yajna. People did rituals, and for doing these rituals, a lot of products were required and it had to be done in a proper way. People in Treta Yuga used to do these yajnas and reach Bhagavan. In Dwapara Yuga, people did archana, people did puja and reached Bhagavan. But when we take Kali Yuga, the yuga which we all are living on, in Kali Yuga, people do not have the mental strength to stay focused and do meditation for a long time. People do not get the necessary products for doing the big rituals people used to do in Treta Yuga. People do not have the cleanliness. The cleanliness is not simple cleanliness, but the purest of cleanliness. You need to be very pure. You should not touch your hair. You should not touch the ground. There are a lot of rules for doing archana and puja. Even if you make a small mistake, there are negative effects for all these. So, how do people in Kali Yuga reach the holy feet of Bhagavan? In Kali Yuga, there is only one way, and that is Nama Sankirtan. Kalau Keshava Kirtanat, saying the name of Bhagavan is the only way people in Kali Yuga can reach his holy feet. In Srimad Bhagavata, the greatness of this Bhagavan Nama is shown through a story. A Brahmin called Ajamila. Being a Brahmin, Ajamila doesn't have any attributes a Brahmin would have. He drinks, he smokes, he gambles, he does all the things that should not be done by a person. He lives his way, his life in such a way. What happens? He has children. When he is about to die, his time in this earth is over. And when he is about to die, because of all the bad deeds he has done, the disciples of Yama, the Lord of Death, come to take him. Even though Ajamila did a lot of bad things in his life, there is one thing he did in his life which saved him at the last. He had a lot of children, but he loved his last child the most. He named his last child Narayan. So when he was in his deathbed, Ajamila sees the disciples of Yama coming, to take him to Naraka, to take him to hell. So what he does is, if somebody went and told to Ajamila, you pray to Bhagavan, you say Bhagavan's name, he wouldn't have listened, because all his life he has not been in the right path. But what he does is, he calls his last son. He shouts, Narayana, he shouts. His son is playing somewhere else and he doesn't even hear. He doesn't even hear the call. But who hears it? Bhagavan Narayana, who's sitting in Vaikuntham, hears Ajamila shouting his name. What does he do? He sends his disciple to pick Ajamila and bring him to Vaikuntha. So, Ajamila is taken to Vaikuntha because he says the name of Bhagavan Narayana. It was not something he told intentionally. He called his son, but who answered the call was Bhagavan Narayana. So, the Bhagavan Nama is such a powerful thing. Saying the name of Bhagavan is so powerful that it takes you to the holy feet of Bhagavan himself. Thus, the greatness of Bhagavan Nama is shown in various Puranas and Itihasas. Saying the name of Bhagavan, talking about the greatness of Bhagavan, thinking about the greatness of Bhagavan, talking about Srimad Bhagavatam and Srimad Ramayanam doesn't come so easily to everyone. Listening to Srimad Bhagavatam or Srimad Ramayanam doesn't happen easily to everyone. It happens because of the grace of Guru Kripa. If today we all are sitting here, we are talking and listening to the greatness of Srimad Bhagavatam means it is because of the grace of Guru. It is because of Guru Kripa. The grace of Guru is the Guru showers all his grace on you without expecting anything back. Without expecting anything back, and he doesn't judge you in any way. A Guru does not see whether you have this, whether you have that. He showers his praise, he showers his grace without expecting anything. காரணமின்றி இன்னருள் சூரக்கும் ஆராபமோதே சத்குருநாதா காரணமின்றி இன்னருள் சூரக்கும் ஆராபமோதே சத்குருநாதா நின்னருள் பெறவே யோகியதை வேண்டாம் என் தந்தை நீ ஏனும் பாத்யதை போதும் தேடி வந்தேமை திருவடி சேர்த்து தேடி வந்தேமை திருவடி சேர்த்து ஏற்றமெய்யருளும் கல்பகத்தருவே காரணமின்றி இன்னருள் சுரக்கும் ஆராவமோதே Sadgurunatha. To get the grace of Guru, you don't need to have any qualification. In this life, to get anywhere, you need some qualification. People expect you to be qualified in something, but to get the grace of Guru, there is no qualification required. Guru is the one who showers grace on you without expecting anything. So, by the grace of Guru, we have got this great satsang today where we can talk and think about the greatness of Bhagavan Nama. The greatness of this Gurunatha is shown in Itihasas and Puranas. Srimad Bhagavatam was written by Vyasa. Vyasa wrote Srimad Bhagavatam. But how did Vyasa write Bhagavatam? Vyasa, after writing many Puranas, he did not have peace. He did not have peace in his mind. So he was sitting and thinking, what should I do next? How will I get peace? I have written all the Puranas. I have given this world Mahabharata, but still I'm not having peace. So Vyasa is struggling to find why he is not able to find peace. At that time, Narada comes. Narada comes and Narada asks Vyasa, Vyasa, why are you in such a worry? It seems like you're thinking something. Vyasa replies that, Swami, I've given all these Itihasas and Puranas to the world. I've even given Mahabharata. Bharato Panchamo Vedaha. Mahabharata is considered as the fifth Veda. I've given that Mahabharata and still I'm not able to find peace. Narada replies, you have given everything. You have given everything. But you have not yet told the story of Bhagavan. You have not yet told the story of Bhagavan Leela, Sri Krishna Leela. You have not told the greatness of Bhagavan Nama. In this world, whatever you do, how much ever you have studied, how much ever you know, how much ever knowledge you possess, if you don't say the name of Bhagavan, or if you don't think the greatness of Bhagavan, there is no use in knowing everything. So Narada says, you have to write about the greatness. You have to write the story of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. You have to write the story of how Bhagavan Sri Krishna did all those leelas, how Bhagavan Sri Krishna played with all those children, how Bhagavan Sri Krishna held a mountain for 7 days in his little finger. You have to tell those stories. You have to write about those stories. If you do that, you will get the peace. So, Narada showers his grace on Vyasa. Narada over here is the guru of Vyasa. Narada, being a guru, showers his grace on Vyasa, by which Vyasa writes Srimad Bhagavatam. Because of the grace of Narada, Vyasa writes Srimad Bhagavatam. And because of Srimad Bhagavatam, because of Vyasa writing Srimad Bhagavatam, today we are able to hear the greatness of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Today we are able to enjoy all the things that Bhagavan Sri Krishna did. Today we are able to enjoy hearing how Bhagavan Sri Krishna played with those children, how Bhagavan Sri Krishna carried the mountain. It is because of Narada's grace that Sri Vyasa was able to write Srimad Bhagavatam. So, Guru Kripa is very important. The grace of Guru is very important in one's life. If we take the example of Srimad Ramayana, Bhagavan comes as Sri Rama, and Bhagavan's wife Pirati comes as Sita. They both come in human form, and they are moving amongst the people. What happens is Ravana abducts Sita and takes her to Lanka. Rama is suffering. Rama is not able to find Sita. Rama is not able to find Sita. Rama searches everywhere. Rama cries. Rama is scared. Sri Rama is scared. So, what happens is Sri Rama sends Hanuman in search of Sita. Hanuman travels to Lanka, sees Sita, and brings back an ornament from Sita. When Hanuman brings back the ornament and gives it to Rama, that is when Rama gets peace. Rama was suffering because he couldn't find Sita. Once Hanuman comes and tells that Sita is there in Lanka and she is waiting for you, Rama is happy. Rama is happy because Sita is safe there, that he can go and he has to kill Ravana and bring back Sita. So what does Hanuman do in this? Hanuman brings peace to Sakshat Bhagavan and Pirati. Even if Bhagavan and Pirati take avatara and come to this world, they need the grace of a guru to be together. That is what is shown in Srimad Ramayana. Hanuman acts as that guru who brings Sita and Rama together again. So, Srimad Ramayana shows the greatness of Guru, the Guru Tattvam. Such is the greatness of Guru, and the greatness of Guru is shown like this in various itihasas and Puranas. When we look at the greatness of Srimad Bhagavata, as mentioned before, is Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Srimad Bhagavata Bhagavan Sri Krishna and the devotees, Bhagavata, who always think about the holy feet of Bhagavan Sri Krishna are the same. They are not different. They are the same Swarupa. So, the greatness of Srimad Bhagavatam is written by Vyasa in Srimad Bhagavatam. What is the greatness of Srimad Bhagavatam? The greatness of Srimad Bhagavata is shown through a story of a girl called Bhakti Devi. Bhakti Devi has two children. The name of those two children are Jnanam and Vairagya. So, what happens is that Bhakti Devi is a young girl, but Jnanam and Vairagyam are old people. How can the mother be a young woman and the children be older than the mother? It is not possible. But what happens is Bhakti Devi roams around the world and she goes to Brindavana, the place where Bhagavan Sri Krishna did all those leelas. When she steps foot on Vrindavanam, she again turns back to a small girl, to a small young girl. Whereas her two children, Jnanam and Vairagyam, stay as old people. This worries Bhakti Devi a lot. What she does is she tries to find some way to make them young again. So, at that time, Narada comes by. Narada comes by and Bhakti Devi sees Narada. Bhakti Devi sees Narada and she falls in the feet of Narada. She falls in the feet of Narada and she says, Aham Bhakti Ritikyata imau me talayo mathau jnana vairagya namanau kala yoge na jarjarau. So she tells to Narada, Swami, Aham Bhakti Ritikyata. My name is Bhakti. My name is Bhakti, and these are my children. Jnana Vairagya Namanam. Their names are Jnanam and Vairagyam, and they are my children. But I am very young, but they are very old. It doesn't look good. So you have to help us. You have to help us and solve this problem. Then Bhakti Devi tells about where she was born. She tells, Utpanna Dravide Saham Prithim Karnatake Tatha. I was born in Dravida Desham in the south, and in Karnataka I was raised. I was raised by the Alvargal, and I became old in the state of Gujarat. After I became old, I was roaming around and I went to Brindavan. When I went to Brindavanam, I turned back into a young girl, but my children, Jnanam and Vairagyam, are still old people. So you have to find a way to help us. So what does Narada do is he tries various methods. He does puja, he does yajna, he tells shlokas. But what happens is there is no difference. Jnanam and Vairagyam stay as old people. So what happens? Narada is concerned. Narada is concerned that after trying so many things, why am I not able to find a solution? So Narada is worried. Narada is thinking what to do. At that time, what happens is Shanakadigal, four children of Brahma come. Four children of Brahma saying the name of Bhagavan come by that way. What happens is that Narada goes and falls in their feet. Narada goes and falls in their feet. There is one thing to be observed here. It is that Narada tries various methods. Narada tries various methods, and Narada knows a lot of things. Narada knows a lot of things, and he tries everything he knows, but he is not able to find a solution. Why? There has to be some reason. Bhagavan says, Naham vedairna tapasa na danena na chejjaya shakya evam vido drashtum drishtavanasi mam yatha bhaktya shakya ahamevam vidorjuna jnatum drashtum cha tatvena praveshtum cha parantapa. Bhagavan says in Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna that, Arjuna, you are seeing me now. You are seeing me as your friend, as Bhagavan, but I am not visible to everyone like that. I am not visible to everyone like that. And people do not reach me by doing Naham Vedairna Tapasa, by Veda or by Tapas, Nadane Nana Chejjaya, or by Tapas or by doing Dana. People do not reach me by doing these things. How do people reach me? Bhaktya shakya, by doing bhakti. And that bhakti should be an honest one, a sincere one, and it should be Ananya Bhakti. Ananya Bhakti is Prema Bhakti. Prema Bhakti is surrendering yourself to Bhagavan and saying that everything that happens is because of Bhagavan's Kripa. If you surrender yourself to Bhagavan, that is Prema Bhakti. So Bhagavan says, person reaches my holy feet. A person reaches me only by doing bhakti. A person can reach me only by doing bhakti. So Narada over here tries various methods. Narada over here tries various methods, and all those are unsuccessful. So what does Narada do? Narada is thinking, and the Shanakadigal, 4 children of Brahma, come. So Narada meets the Shanakadigal and he falls in their feet and he prays to them. What does he say? Bhagyodayena bahujanma samarjitena satsangamam cha labhate purusho yatha vai ajnana hetu moham mohamadhanta karanasham vidaya hitat udayate vivekaha bhagyodayena. So Narada says, it's my bhagyam, it's my bhagyam, it's my good time that when I am struggling to find a solution, I've got the darshana of you great people. It's all those good deeds I've been doing in all of my births that at the right time I am able to see all 4 of you, and I am able to ask how to do this. It is my bhagya. So Narada falls in their feet and he tells them about the issue that Bhakti Devi is having. So the Shanakadigal, the 4 children of Narada, say that Aho Narada Danyosi Viraktanam Shiromani Sada Shri Krishna Dasanam Agranihi Yoga Bhaskaraha. The 4 children of Brahma greet Narada. They tell Narada, welcome. Welcome. How are you? You are the one who takes your veena and roam around this entire world like how a sun revolves. You bring warmth to everyone by your music, by telling Bhagavan Nama. You bring warmth to all the people living in this earth. They praise Narada and they greet Narada over here. So when Narada asks them what to do, they reply, Srimad Bhagavata Kathalapaha Satu Gita Sukadibihi Bhakti Jnana Viragana Tadgoshene Palam Mahate. The only way by which this Jnanam and Vairagyam can become young is by doing Bhagavata Parayanam, is by reading Srimad Bhagavata. So, you have to read the Srimad Bhagavata for 7 days, and at the end of the 7th day, these two people will again become young, and Bhakti Devi can reunite with them. So, Narada starts doing Srimad Bhagavata Parayan. The Sanakadigal, 4 children, also tell to Narada that you have to tell the Srimad Bhagavatam, the greatness of Srimad Bhagavatam to each and every household. You have to tell the greatness, you have to go everywhere, and you have to spread about the greatness of Srimad Bhagavatam. Thus saying this, the 4 children proceed on their way. So Narada continues doing Srimad Bhagavatam Parayana, continues reading Srimad Bhagavata for 7 days. And by the end of 7 days, Bhakti Devi comes with 2 young children, comes running with 2 young children. How does she come? Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murare Natheti Namani Mukurvadanti. Krishna, Govinda, she shouts those names and she comes, she runs and falls in the feet of Narada. On either side of her, there are 2 young children. The Jnana and Vairagyam, who are very old people, have now turned back into young people. 2 young children, on all 3 of them, fall in the feet of Narada. So Bhakti Devi says to Narada that because of this Bhagavata Parayanam, the 7 days you did Bhagavata Parayanam, and because of that I have got back my children. They are again young now. They are again young. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. And the greatness of Srimad Bhagavatam is seen here. Seen here. So what this story shows us is that Bhakti, Jnanam and Vairagyam all together is obtained by reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhakti, Jnanam and Vairagyam combined is known as Prema Bhakti, and a person gets Prema Bhakti only by reading Srimad Bhagavata. That is what is shown over here. This is the Mahatmyam of Srimad Bhagavatam. Similarly, there is another instance where the greatness of Srimad Bhagavata is shown. There is a Brahmana, there is a Brahmin who is living in his house. He wants to rent his house. He wants to visit Ganga and he wants to go to Ganga. In order to go to Ganga, he has to leave his hometown and travel for a long time. So he decides to rent his house, and he puts out a notice about his house being vacant. So what happens? A Brahmin comes, a Bhagavata comes, a devotee of Bhagavan Shri Krishna comes, and he says, I need to rent your house for some time. I am doing Srimad Bhagavata Parayanam for 7 days, so I need to rent your house. So this Brahmin says, my house is free and you can rent it. He rents his house and he starts on his journey. He starts on his journey and he walks and walks and walks and walks, and he finally reaches Ganga. When he reaches there, people are coming, their whole body being drenched by water. People are coming wet. This Brahmin is looking at all of them. They are coming, and it seems like they have taken bath in the river and they are coming. But this Brahmin is not even able to see the Ganga. Ganga is not visible to him. He's searching for Ganga. Where is the river? He's not able to see the river. So there is another Brahmin who is going in that path, and this Brahmin goes and stops that guy. He asks him, "Where is Ganga?" The another person says, "Ganga is over there. Are you not able to see Ganga? It is right in front of you." This Brahmin is surprised when everyone are taking bath in Ganga and they are coming back. He's not even able to see Ganga. He's confused. And when he asks people about this, they are saying, "You have done something very bad in your life. You have done something very bad in your life. You have done bad deeds. So only you are not able to see Ganga." People are scaring him by saying these things. So he's confused and he's also surprised that he's not able to see. So what he does, he's sad. He's not able to see Ganga and he has traveled so many days. So he goes and stays the night in a small house. In that house, there is a veranda. There is an outer space where people can lie down. So he goes and lies down over there. What happens is early morning at 4 a.m., he hears a noise. He hears a noise, and when he looks, there is a huge vehicle that comes from the sky and it lands on earth. There are 7 women getting down of that vehicle. They are wearing dirty clothes, dirty saris. And what do is that this Brahmin who's lying down in the veranda is observing everything, because it is very unusual for someone to come at 7 women to come at 4 a.m. in the morning, and he's observing what are they doing. They come, what do is that they clean the house, they sprinkle water, and they make decorations in the outer part of the house, and they come a whole circle around the house, and they fall facing the house. They fall down facing the house. They do namaskara. This Brahmin is surprised. He is not able to understand what is happening. So he calls one of that woman who's there, and he calls them and he asks, "What are you doing?" The woman replies that we are the 7 rivers. We are the 7 rivers. People all around the world come to us, and because of their bad deeds, they come to us in order to erase their bad deeds. Because of that, we become dirty. Because of acquiring all those bad deeds they have, we become dirty. Where do we go and erase our deeds? So we come here. We come here because Bhagavan Sri Krishna is living here. Bhagavan Sri Krishna is living here because there is Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam in this house. There is Srimad Bhagavata Grantha in this house. And the person living in this house does puja to that Srimad Bhagavata Grantha every day. Because of that, this is temple for us. This is where Bhagavan Sri Krishna lives. And wherever Bhagavan Sri Krishna lives, we go there and we help that house. That is how we are erasing all the bad deeds which we acquire. The Brahmin is surprised. The Brahmin is surprised, and then he remembers that a Bhagavata came to his house. The Bhagavata told him that he is going to do Bhagavata Saptaham. He is going to read Bhagavata for 7 days. This Brahmin ignored him and continued on his journey. That is why Ganga was not visible. That is why Ganga was not visible. And that is when this Brahmin understands that he has to run back to his house and go and attend this Bhagavata Saptaham. That is the most important thing he has to do. So he runs back, he goes there, and he attends the Bhagavata Saptaham, the 7-day Parayanam that happens in his own house. The greatness of Srimad Bhagavata is shown in this story. Which, wherever Srimad Bhagavata, in whichever house Srimad Bhagavata is there, Bhagavan Shri Krishna lives there. That is what is shown through this story. As mentioned before, Srimad Bhagavata and Bhagavan Shri Krishna are same. They are not different. So, this shows the greatness of Srimad Bhagavata, the Bhagavata Mahatmya. Similarly, in the banks of river Godavari, there is a great saint known as Atma Devan. Atma Devan, and what happens is that the Atma Devan does not have a child. So, he's very, very worried, and he roams in the forest. He sees this Atma Devan sees a great saint. He goes and falls in his feet and says, "You have to help me. You have to do anugraha. You have to bless me with a child." So the great Mahatma showers him with grace and gives him a fruit. Tells Atma Deva to go and give it to his wife and tell her to eat it. If she eats it, they will be blessed with a child. So Atma Deva goes and gives it to his wife. His wife is an arrogant woman, and what does she do is that she goes and throws it to a cow. And what does she do is that, because Atma Deva told her that if she eats, she'll be pregnant and she'll have a child, she has to somehow manage it. She has to somehow convince him that she ate it and she's having a child. So what does she do is that she goes to her sister and asks her sister to give her child. Her sister, so this woman brings her sister's child and brings that child to her house. Atma Deva is very happy that a child is born. But what happens is that the fruit is eaten by a cow, and the cow becomes pregnant, and the cow gives birth to a child with cow ears, and the child is named as Gokarna. The child which this woman took from her sister is named Dundukari. So what happens is that this Dundukari has all the bad habits in life. He's beating his parents. The people he roams around with are not good people. He doesn't have a good company. So what he does is that he goes in the wrong path. Whereas Gokarna, the child of this cow, is a polar opposite. This child goes in the right path, in the path of the Bhagavata. This child always thinks about the greatness of Bhagavan and thinks about the holy feet of Bhagavan. So what happens is that this Dundukari, because of his bad company, roaming around with bad people, what happens is that one day his friends become jealous of him, and while he's sleeping, they kill him with a stone because of some dispute they had between themselves. Because of him doing so many bad deeds in his life, he is not able to go to Swarga or he's not able to go to Naraka. He's stuck in between and he's roaming around like a ghost. He's suffering. Gokarna, the another child, is doing dhyana, Bhagavad dhyana, is doing dhyana, meditating and thinking about the holy feet of Bhagavan. So what happens is that this Dundukari is roaming around as a ghost. This Dundukari has beat his parents. He has killed his parents. So there is no one left. There is only one guy in his family who is left. That is Gokarna. So what does this Dundukari do? Being a ghost, even if he feels hungry, he cannot eat. Even if he feels thirsty, he cannot drink water. He's suffering. He goes to Gokarna. He goes to Gokarna and he shouts, Gokarna, please help me. Please help me. You have to help me. So Gokarna asks, what happened? So this Dundukari tells all the things that happened in his life. So Gokarna says, don't worry, I'll find some way. I'll find some way to help you. So what does Gokarna do is he goes and asks all the saints. He asks them what to do. All of them say, the amount of bad deeds this Dundukari has done, there is nothing you can do. There is nothing you can do. He has to suffer. So none of those saints give any hope. So Gokarna, being a saint, he does dhyana, he meditates towards Surya, the sun, and he asks Surya that, what should I do? How will this, my brother, find peace? He's suffering so much. So at that time, Surya Bhagavan says, doing Srimad Bhagavata Parayanam for 7 days is the only way. So what does he do is that Gokarna brings a bamboo stick. There are several eyes in the bamboo stick. And every day as he completes the Bhagavata Parayana, reading Srimad Bhagavatam, each one of those eyes pops. As the seventh hole, the seventh eye pops, this Dundukari, who has been hearing the Srimad Bhagavata for 7 days, attains the holy feet of Bhagavan. The one who did so many bad deeds in his life reaches the holy feet of Bhagavan only by hearing the greatness of the Bhagavan Nama, by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam for 7 days. So, Sri Shuka is telling the story of Srimad Bhagavatam to Parikshit. And many people are listening. So Parikshit asks a question to Shuka right here. Parikshit asks, you told me the story of Gokarna. You told me the story of Dundukari reaching the holy feet of Bhagavan. But when Gokarna did Parayanam for 7 days, he read Srimad Bhagavatam for 7 days, there were many people sitting and hearing it. But why only Dundukari reached the holy feet of Bhagavan? Why did not everybody reach? So at that time, Shuka says it is because Dundukari was single-mindedly wanting to reach the holy feet of Bhagavan, and with that intention he was listening to Srimad Bhagavata. Because of that, he reached the holy feet of Bhagavan. So it is with how much intention you hear to Bhagavata, it will reflect on whether you reach the holy feet of Bhagavan. So this story shows us the greatness of Srimad Bhagavata. So in conclusion, these various stories point out that Srimad Bhagavata and Bhagavan Nama is the only way by which people in Kali Yuga, in this Yuga, can reach the holy feet of Bhagavan. Can reach the holy feet of Bhagavan by saying Bhagavan Nama. Bhagavan Nama has such value, has such power. Srimad Bhagavatam has such value and such power. That is only shown in so many itihasas and Puranas. And all these are got only by the grace of Guru. Only by the grace of Guru, and by the grace of that Guru, we have all gathered here to here today in this wonderful satsang to hear the greatness of Srimad Bhagavata. By saying that, I would like to conclude my speech, and I'd like to thank for this great opportunity given to me to talk a few words about the greatness of Srimad Bhagavatam. Sadgurunath Maharaj ki jai. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Wow, thank you so much, Hari Anand. But you know what? At times it makes me very envious of you. You know why? A boy of 20 years is, soaked with so much of knowledge and is coming so seamlessly. Um, but thank you so much for this reassurance uh, that if you listen to the Bhagavatam, that will give you jnana and vairagya. Thank you so much. This secret we never knew. We were just hunting where to. Vairagyam, sometimes it is there, it is not there. Bhakti, it comes and goes. You know, it's not consistent. What I mean to say, like Don Bradman's record, 99.04, that is consistency is not there. It is coming and going. Now you have given us a secret that what it takes to have that consistency, to make them young. Thank you so much. I mean, it's such a treasure. It's a secret you have revealed. 1 hour is not enough. 1 hour is not enough. But you know what? As you said, for many years, and recently I was sharing this with my sister. See, we all come, spend 70, 80 years on planet Earth and go away. We are not able to take out just 7 days in those 78 years and do one Bhagavata Saptaham. One. This I've been telling her many times that when I come to India, number we have to do. She said yes. But again, that time is not coming. That Bhagavata Saptaham, it's not my case. It's a case with many. In life, in one full life, they are not able to take out just 7 days to do one Saptaham. I mean, for which, what to do? Again, maybe in one of the discourses when you can, or the secret will be revealed. What it takes to do a Bhagavata Saptaham. Thank you so much, Hari Anand. It's been absolutely blissful. So much of reassurance that bhakti is the only marga. In fact, just before you, we had every Saturday we have a 2 hours of abhang session. Yeah, there one of the abhangs. There's no other marga. The only marga to just reiterated what you said. Only marga is bhakti. Yeah. Thank you so much. We would like to have more of your talks because this Vishwarupa Sai consciousness is going to be there forever. So you all have been drafted here into this, not just like that randomly, for a divine purpose, to enlighten and to lead everybody back home. Yeah, otherwise it would not evolve to come to this stage. And for the benefit of all the bhaktas who are here, from today onwards, all our sessions of Vishwarupa Sai consciousness, it will be aired, live streamed on Facebook. Yeah. This recording may be there. I mean, I don't know, because I've also not, because just in the afternoon, I got the link from Brother Julius, our mentor, our guru, who's been so gracious. And because he told me 1.5 years back that divinity, supreme consciousness is now working in multiple dimensions. Now we understand what he told 1.5 years back is true. One, There is a Veda Parayana Nirantara. Today is the 487th day. Yeah, we are doing Akhanda Rudram. Then there is Sankirtana. Then there is now God has drafted you all into these Upanyasams to give the essence of the Vedas, the Vedanta, and then so many talks. So what he said, the multiple dimensions, it is really coming true. And thank you so much. We just can't be grateful enough to Appa, for training so many students, many of them, the right from 8-year-old Adhya to I think you are the oldest. No. Vatsalya is the oldest. She's 22 years and you are 20. It's incredible to see this, the battalion, the Bhagavata battalion, doing Upanyasams and enlightening all of us. Thank you so much. Om Shri Sai Ram.